When Lady Khadeejah radiyallahu anha heard about the truthfulness of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, even before he received prophethood, when he was around the age of 25 and she was around the age of 40, after her second previous husband had died, she heard about his truthfulness, about the Prophet's great trustworthiness. She knew that people called him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. If someone wanted to travel and wanted to place a precious item of theirs with somebody to keep it safe until their return, they would all instruct that it be left with Muhammad ibn Abdullah, with the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. She heard of these matters and his noble character. As a result, she sent for him and offered him the opportunity to take her goods to Ash-Sham for trade. She promised to give him a better share of the profits than she gave to others, and she assigned one of her servants, a young man named Maysara, to accompany him. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam accepted the offer, set out with her merchandise, and travelled to Ash-Sham with Maysara. When the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam arrived in Ash-Sham, he rested under the shade of a tree near the cell of a monk. The monk looked at Maysara and asked, "Who is the man resting under this tree?" Maysara replied, "He is a man from Quraysh, the people of the sacred sanctuary." The monk then said, "No one has ever rested under this tree except a prophet." The Prophet ﷺ then conducted his trade, selling the goods he had brought and purchasing what he intended to bring back. On one occasion, Maysara, upon his return, told Lady Khadeejah, "I saw Muhammad buying and selling. I observed his manners. On one occasion, a person came to him asking about an item. That person said to Muhammad, 'Swear by Allat and Al-Uzza.' Allat and Al-Uzza are the names of two idols that the people used to worship. So this man, he requested for Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam to swear by these two idols. Maysara said to Lady Khadeejah that Muhammad said to this man, "Ma halaftu bihima qat." I have never sworn by these two idols. That's because all of the prophets are protected before they receive revelation and after they receive revelation, protected from ever being disbelievers, protected from worshipping idols, protected from all types of blasphemy. Just as he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Ma kafara billahi nabiyyun qat." No prophet has ever committed blasphemy. Upon his return to Mecca, Khadeejah sold the merchandise he had brought, and her profits doubled or came close to that. Maysara also informed her of what the monk had said, amongst many other things. How lucky Maysara was. He would have seen the manners of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam sitting with him, standing with him, watching what he does before he sleeps, watching what he does when he wakes up, in his kindness, his mercy, his politeness, his compassion with people. Oh, how lucky you were, Maysara. He told Lady Khadeejah about all of that. He, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, grew more and more in the heart of Khadeejah, who was known as At-Tahira, the pure. It is reported that Lady Khadeejah would then regularly mention Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. She would mention him in many of her gatherings with her friends, such that one of her friends noticed Nafisa bintu Munya. So she encouraged her to get married. Lady Khadeejah, who was considered an intelligent, noble, and wise woman, Allah had decreed honor for her. When she heard Maysara's account, and she knew that the Prophet's status in her heart was growing, she sent for the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wassalam. The seeds of love had already been planted in her heart. Allahu Akbar. And how would a person not love the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam? She said to him, I have come to admire you for your close kinship to me, your noble status among your people, your trustworthiness, your excellent character, and your truthfulness in speech. She then offered herself in marriage to him. She was the most distinguished woman of Quraysh in lineage, wealth, and so on. Many people sought to marry her, but each time she refused. When she had made her proposal to the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he was 25 years old at the time and she 40, he mentioned this to his uncles, his uncle Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. Hamza then accompanied him to Khuwaylid ibn Asad, her father, and formally proposed on his behalf. Thus the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wassalam married her. Some narrations give more details, but this is a summary. The Messenger of Allah married her. The Messenger of Allah was 25 years of age, and Khadeejah was 40. A 15-year difference between the two. Lady Khadeejah radiyallahu anha, she was the love of the life of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Before the revelation came to him at the age of 40, he spent 15 years with her, raising their children together. And after revelation came to him, they spent another 11 years together. In total, that's 26 years of marriage, raising 6 children, experiencing in their children loss in the form of death, likewise experiencing the many challenges that came when calling people to al-Islam. But we'll hear more about that soon. When the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wassalam, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was 28 years of age and Lady Khadeejah was 43, their first child was born, Lady Zainab. when the Prophet ﷺ was around 29 years of age and Lady Khadeejah was 44. They had their first son, Al-Qasim, their second child. When the Prophet ﷺ was around 30 years of age, Al-Imam Ali, his cousin, radiyallahu anhu, was born. And Lady Khadeejah and Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam took him in and raised him in their house. So in this house, you had Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, Lady Khadeejah, Zainab, Al-Qasim, and Ali radiyallahu anhum. When the Messenger of Allah was 31 years of age and Lady Khadeejah was around 46, they had their third child, Lady Ruqayyah, their second daughter. When he was around 32 or 33 years of age, he, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Lady Khadeejah had their fourth child, Lady Kulthum, their third daughter. When the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam became 35 years of age and Lady Khadeejah was 50, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam was the one who was entrusted to put the black stone back in its place when the Kaaba was rebuilt. Can you imagine the feelings that were felt within the household of the Messenger of Allah 5 years before revelation came? The Prophet was a father, and Khadijah, his wife, was the mother of his children, raising these children. When the Prophet ﷺ was around 36 years of age and Lady Khadeejah was around 51, their fifth child was born, Lady Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Al-Qasim, the son of the Prophet ﷺ, did not live long. The Prophet ﷺ buried him very early on. This was a loss that Lady Khadeejah and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam suffered very early on, but this strengthened their relationship and brought them even close together. Then al-irhasat, extraordinary matters happened to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam before revelation. He said, إني لا أعرف حجرا بمكة كان يسلم علي. I know, and this is when, after he received revelation, he said, I know a stone in Mecca that used to say As-Salam, peace be upon you, to me before revelation. Like this, many things would happen to him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, before the age of 40, all in preparation for him to receive revelation. Before he received revelation, his daughter, Lady Ruqayyah, married. So the Prophet ﷺ and Lady Khadeejah, they were married. They had children. They suffered loss in the form of the death of Al-Qasim. And one of his daughters at least married. So there was sadness and there was joy. And he was trusted, and she was considered among the people of that time noble and honorable. At-Tahira. Then the Prophet ﷺ began to have dreams. This was another preparation for receiving revelation. He would have dreams, and then he would wake up and he would see them clearly. Things that he had seen in dreams would occur the next morning, very, very clearly. Stay with us, insha'Allah. Next, you see the resilience, the support of Khadeejah, her confidence, and how she aided the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It shows her trust in him and her perseverance. You will see, insha'Allah, in our next session when we talk about revelation coming to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.